next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy.
Tell me. Do you bleed? You will.
Well, welcome back. And it's been a while since I did my podcast. And this time we're in my classic comic talk number 9. We'll be featuring the Submariner from Marvel Spotlight, then Batman from the 70s, news from Ghost Rider uh, in Blade, and of course, the animated feature for DC in 2024. So the first one feature is from Marvel Spotlight number 27. This is the Symbiotic Man from 1976. This was written by Bill Montlo with pencils and ink by Jim Mooney, colors Petra Goldberg, and letterer Karen Montlo. So the story goes, Namor contemplates his experiences with men of the surface world. He concludes that some of the heroes he has worked with were worthy of his strength, but others only sought to betray him. Namor feels that he has not done enough to help his people, and that he has been distracted by issues on the surface. As Namor stands deep in this, he is unaware that the fact that he's being monitored by Captain Simon Riker. Now, Riker has developed a cyborg that he refers to as the Symbiotic Man, who seeks to drain the life force of Namor himself. The symbiotic creature manages to attach its tentacles to Namor and begins to draw strength from the submariner. Namor gains his composure and yanks the tentacles from the body before they can drain all his energy. The symbiotic creature then takes control of the giant octopus and uses it as to attack Namor. Namor breaks free from the octopus and flings it away in a powerful throw towards the underwater craft containing Captain Riker. The craft explodes and sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Now that his master is gone, the creature gravitates towards the submariner and announces that his master is gone. The creature announces that he never meant to harm him. He was merely the latest victim of yet another surface dweller that meant to bring harm to Namor. It is noted that the costume Namor wore during 1976 is still the one from Reed Richards, in order for him to breathe in the air, since during this time the nerve gas has affected Namor, and he lost his ability to his amphibious ability. That's it. That was a classic from Marvel Spotlight number 7. The next book is from 1972. This is Batman 241. This is from volume 1. Now, the cover is by Neil Adams, Bernie Wrightson, and Gaspar Saladino. The writers are Dennis O'Neill, Irv Novick, Dick Giordano, and edited by Jules Schwartz. The Robin feature was written by Mike Frederich with art by Rich Buckler, and the classic uh, reprint from Batman number 5 is by Bill Finger, Bob Kane, Jerry Robinson, George Russos. And this was edited by Whitney Ellsworth. Now, the first story is entitled At Dawn Dies Mary McGuffin. When some classified documents were stolen from a government building, Batman is called to find the documents. The Dark Knight deduces that the documents were stolen by an employee at the building, and when his theory turns out to be true, he must find where Spy Master, Corner Surfer, is hiding the government employee's kidnapped wife before he can kill her in vengeance for not giving for not being given the classified documents. Batman is stumped as he can't locate Sulfur, which means that the lady would be killed at dawn. When Batman finally deduces the location of Sulfur's hideout, he has only 45 minutes to prevent the murder. Arthur Reeves tries to stop the Batman, but his efforts are futile, and the Dark Knight arrives in time to save the lady from a certain death. In the final confrontation, uh, with Sulfur, Batman is stabbed in his arm, but he manages to defeat the criminal. Right after his victory, Commissioner Gordon informs Batman that the government has decided that the stolen documents are not important, and Batman is unable to express his anger with words. Classic Batman tale that features the cover of that classic pose. Excuse me. The second story is Secret of the Psychic Sirens. Uh, Terry Bergstrom's Terry Bergstrom contacts Robin using her mental abilities, and he finally reveals to him that they are mentally connected and that he is, excuse me, his only connection to a mental relative. Terry tells Robin that he must attempt to contact her with his help. Terry and Lilith Clay are reunited. Remember Lilith from the Teen Titans. Unfortunately, their reunion is short-lived as they are confronted by a Cthulhu worshipping cult which wants to destroy them. The teens put up a fight, and using their combined psychic powers, Lilith and Terry are able to defeat several members of the cult, leaving Robin to deal with their leader, the strongest man among them. This is actually part one of something of this backup story, and Kid Flash also appeared uh, in this story. So we have Robin, Lilith, Terry, and Kid Flash. The next one is a reprint from Batman 5, A Thief, The Case of the Honest Crook. A thief is captured by Batman right after robbing a shop. It turns out that he stole only $6. To explain his strange action, the young man tells his story. He was engaged and was saving money for the wedding while working at a garage. One night, mobsters stop at the garage with a hot car and promise him $200 for silence. When the girl had discovered the source of the money, she insisted on not accepting it. So, explaining the situation to the mobsters, he refused the money. That aroused their suspicions about him and played safe. The crooks framed him with a drunk driving charge. Spending 2 years in custody gave him two things: a wife who married him right after the release, and hate for the mobster who framed him. With a prison sentence behind him, he could not hold any job for a long time, and he was running out of money when his wife got ill. That's when he stole only $6 to buy the medicine. Batman gives him money to save the wife and begins to work on revenge of the mobsters. Batman recognizes one of the mobsters, described and pays a visit to Smiley Sykes, the mob, to find out who's responsible for the frame. That visit leaves mobsters shattered and the place shuttered. The, the recognized mobster, Matt Link, barely misses the Batman visit and plans to get away from the city. But to stop him from talking to Batman, Smiley orders his death. Bruce sees this result in the morning pages and goes to Commissioner Gordon for information. Meanwhile, Robin must search Link's room for any clues. Concerned with Robin's absence, Batman arrives at Link's place and finds Robin badly injured. He even believes in his aides being dead for a moment, which causes a great rage in the Dark Knight. He delivers the boy to the doctor first and then races to Smiley's hideout, where he overtakes the mobsters and forces a confession out of Smiley. Despite being shot 3 times, the doctor operates on Robin and then on Batman without revealing their identities. The next day, the thief visits them at the doctor's place and he informs Batman that he got a job at the store he had tried to rob and his wife is going to be. All right. Yeah. I remember this when I was a kid. I I had a copy of this somewhere uh, at home, and then who knows what happened to my copy? Probably mom burned burned it along with most of my comics during those times. But this was a this was an awesome story, especially the backup, the reprint from Batman 5. It features Batman in his prime element as the Dark Knight. Yes. Okay. Now we have movie news. This is from Geekosity Mag. Okay. Uh, it's entitled Norman Reedus to make a fiery debut as Ghost Rider in Blade. This is written by Karen Bug, the editor, the UK editor of Geekosity. Norman Reedus will reportedly make his long-awaited MCU debut as Ghost Rider in Mahershala Ali's upcoming Blade reboot. Ever since Marvel Studios acquired the live-action rights to Ghost Rider from Sony Pictures, fans has been itching to see the spirit of vengeance ride its way into the MCU. Prior to the release of the fourth season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it was announced at 2016 San Diego Comic-Con that actor Gabriel Luna would portray Robbie Reyes. In the comics, Reyes is the fifth character to take on the Ghost Rider mantle after Carter Slade, Johnny Blaze, Danny Kent, and Alexandra Jones. Moreover, The original Ghost Rider, aka Johnny Blaze, made a brief but unforgettable cameo while Robbie was explaining his origin story. Sorry, still have my allergies. However, neither Robbie Reyes nor Johnny Blaze returned after the fourth season concluded, much to the disappointment of fans. A spin-off series for Robbie Reyes' Ghost Rider was greenlit with Gabriel Luna set to star, but these plans were tragically cancelled soon after. Nonetheless, this doesn't mean that Ghost Rider's future with the franchise is dead and buried. Far from it. For a while now, there's been multiple reports of Marvel Studios looking at multiple actors to bring the Devil's Bounty Hunter back to the big screen, with the Walking Dead star Norman Reedus being the favorite choice. Given the similarities between Daryl Dixon and Johnny Blaze, it's not hard to imagine him in the role. In addition, Norman Reedus himself expressed a strong desire to play the character in the MCU, only adding more fuel to the flames. Geekosity's Mikey Sutton previously scooped that Reedus had in fact been cast as the MCU's Johnny Blaze. Now, now it's only a matter of when he'll first show up. We may just have our answer according to a new report from Giant Freaking Robot. The site claims that Norman Reedus will make his MCU debut as Ghost Rider in Marcellus Ali's Blade movie. The report says the Spirit of Vengeance and the Walker are joining forces. Our trust and proven sources tells us that Norman Reedus will make his MCU debut as Ghost Rider in 2025. Uh, in Blade. This honestly seems to be the most obvious place to introduce the motorcycle riding ghoul. After all, Marvel Studios is planning a Midnight Suns movie with Ghost Rider and Blade as members of the supernatural team of anti-heroes. Who knows, maybe there's also room for Gabriel Luna to return as Robbie Reyes down the road. So that's awesome news, right? Uh, that's awesome news. And admittedly, I'm really excited to have another Ghost Rider movie, another appearance of Ghost Rider in the movies. Ever since Nicolas Cage played Johnny Blaze for Marvel, we haven't really seen the best. Anyway, then we have our last topic. We have our last topic. The animated Watchmen Crisis on Infinite Earths feature films coming from DC Studios in 2024. This is from Bounding into Comics. Excuse me. DC can't quit Alan Moore, though he hasn't worked there in years and is returning to his well again for another adaptation of his most celebrated work. It was announced at San Diego Con that Watchmen is being turned into an animated movie that is scheduled for release in 2024 and won't be the only famed story becoming a feature-length cartoon. Dark Horizons reports Crisis on Infinite Earths adaptation is also on the way next year. It is being sold as a Justice League movie, and the announcement of it, along with Watchmen, was made at CDCC after a screening of the upcoming release, Justice League War World. This late, this latter feature is animated and set in the Tomorrowverse that started in 2020. Honestly, I don't enjoy the Tomorrowverse. That continuity began with Superman, Man of Tomorrow, and carried into Justice Society World War II, Green Lantern Beware My Power, and Legion of Superheroes. Crisis will be part of the same universe, but when it comes to Watchmen, things are less clear. Odds favor a more faithful adaptation of the graphic novel than Zack Snyder's, complete with the giant squid monster. Oh boy. But other than an R rating, full details have not been released, and it doesn't appear this new animated version will play a part in the Tomorrowverse. That's good news for me. DC already incorporated Watchmen into their mainline continuity with Before Watchmen and Doomsday Clock, which turned Dr. Manhattan into a force to be reckoned with in the multiverse and beyond. After years in development hell, Zack Snyder finally realized the Hollywood dream of a live action Watchmen movie, though he cut some corners with the story despite the extended cut that included the depiction of the curse of the Black Freighter. HBO revisited the property in 2019 with the miniseries that ignored Snyder's version and used the comics as a starting point, which was definitely weird. A firm release window within the coming year for Watchmen and Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths has not been determined. Okay, so that's it for my ninth edition of Classic Comic Talk. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and please like my video, subscribe to my channel, and adios.
Because I saved them.
Well, that's why I waited until you were there. I got the information I needed. No one died. I did it your way.
He does have a point.
I know it got lost in all the confusion, but we still have some issues to settle here. There are only heroes and there are villains.
You think yourself a hero, but you would let these criminals go free.
Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do.